he found ways to walk into where those people were. Yes, he was a proud, ultra leftist, and then he became a proud person on the right, largely because he saw shifting towards the right, and that's where his money and his audience could come from. He shifted because
the big hoop earrings, the lace front with not even the natural hair. It literally looks like plastic. Then she got an attitude. She got her nails, and she's like calling him a transport. And you gonna listen to me, and you gonna listen. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. I'm sorry.
I want to give you the opportunity to respond to
I appreciate
the criticism.
I appreciate it. There's no evidence that I've been co-opted by anyone. I have an independent podcast.
Okay, so black women like this, really, the time has come. It's not going to be a good 4 years for y'all. What's up, y'all? Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and a notification bell. Thank you so much to every eye that lands on this video. Now, let's talk about this video. Look at the smug face, guys. Doesn't she make you feel so inspired to live your best life? Yes, this is the clip of Coleman Hughes with Sunny Hostin, right? But I have another clip of the same kind of behavior. Why don't we run this back? Let's take a trip down memory lane and see this kind of just a smug attitude. It's just man, I can't. I have no words for her behavior that day.
Although I'm an independent, I would vote for a Republican, probably a non-Trump Republican if they were compelling. I don't think there's any evidence I've been co-opted.
By the way, he played himself when he said that. Why do you have to tell people it would be a non-Trump? Just say a Republican. Like, why does everybody have to make sure everything sounds right for everybody else? All right.
Opted by anyone, and I think that's an ad hominem tactic people use to not address really the important conversations we're having here. And I think it's better, and it would be better for everyone if we stuck to the topics rather than make it about me with no evidence that I've been co-opted.
I want to give you the opportunity to respond to the criticism.
I appreciate it. There's no evidence that I've been co-opted by anyone. I have an independent podcast. I work for CNN as an analyst. I write for the Free Press. I'm independent in all of these endeavors, and no one is paying me to say what I'm saying. I'm saying it because I feel it.
Yes. Alyssa, you have the question.
Now, the thing is, this type of behavior, and I have to rewind it again because really, you can see, it was just like a fight. It really was.
No, you did. You actually said that in the podcast that you did 2 weeks ago.
I said I was a conservative.
Yes, you did. So, but my question to you is, how do you respond to those critics?
Okay, let him answer.
First thing I think it's very important.
Wait, hold on, because I got to get to the part where she straight called him a charlatan. Okay? Like, damn, this clip was long. It really was.
Part is true, but as you are a student of Dr. King, I'm not only a student of Dr. King, I know his daughter, Bernice, right?
Nobody cares. You look insane and you had a cast on, but I'm sorry, guys.
Is fundamentally flawed. You claim that color blindness was the goal of the civil rights movement, based upon Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, content of character versus the color of skin. Bernice, Dr. King's daughter, points out that 4 years after giving that speech, actually, Dr. King also said this: a society that has done something special against the Negro for hundreds of years must now do something special for Negroes. He also said in 1968, it was about less than a week before he was assassinated, this country never stops to realize that they owe a people kept in slavery for 244 years. So rather than class, he did write about that earlier on. Right before his death, he made the argument for racial equality and racial reparations. And so your argument for color blindness, I think, is something that the right has co-opted. And so many in the Black community, if I'm being honest with you, because I want to be, believe that you are being used as a pawn by the right and that you're a charlatan of sorts.
I mean, she is horrendous. And he still was a calm person. You could tell he knew something was coming. By the way, 2 Puerto Ricans are saying, no, let me stop. I think they're like half black. Whatever. I'm Haitian, right? It's jokey, right? It's okay. So he's ready. He's like, I'm going to let her know that, hey, I'm not co-op. Man, I'd have been more. Was this before or after she found out she was a slave owner? She couldn't have been after. I wish it was me, and I wish it was after, because I would have been like, didn't you own slaves? Okay. No, my God. No. I'm just saying, right? Didn't you? You did, right? Yeah. No, I don't think like that, right? But you have to use their arguments against them because that's how they would say it to somebody else. They would say it to a white person like that. So I'm going to say it to Sunny like that. I thought you owned slaves. What are you telling me about color black? What are you talking? You owe. Hey, Sunny, did you pay reparations? Did you pay them? You owe them. That's what I would have said. You would have been shut. They had to tell me to leave. But these black women who act like this, I'm telling you, something's coming.
That's actually precisely the point. However, Bernie Sanders had no problem going on Joe Rogan years ago when Joe Rogan endorsed him. I've been on Rogan's show 3 times. I've probably heard over 100 hours of it in the past decade. A decade ago, Joe Rogan was a Bernie Sanders supporter who would get emotional talking about how important it is to legalize marijuana, who would get emotional talking about how important it is to get Christianity out of politics, in particular on the abortion issue, who had a host of left-wing opinions, including about healthcare, and liberals drove him away by calling him a racist, unearthing jokes he made, calling him a misogynist, really with no evidence.
When you make racist
calling him
jokes
a transphobe,
about people of color,
calling him a
people
lot of
calling you
comedians
racist is likely
make
going to
jokes
happen.
all the time. Calling him transphobic because he didn't like
He
seeing
also didn't
Fallon
love the
Fox
vaccine thing, right?
beating up.
To our point earlier.
That also used to be a left-wing opinion, to be against vaccines like 20 years ago. Again, so he actually hasn't shapeshifted very much, to your point. The Democratic Party has shapeshifted and driven him away and alienated his followers.
I think what he ended up seeing was an American political sphere that shifted, and he found ways. He's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. He found ways to walk into where those people were. Yes, he was a proud, ultra leftist, and then he became a proud person on the right, largely because he saw shifting towards the right, and that's where his money and his audience could come from. He shifted because more of his listeners shifted, and that's where he drove it to. That's nothing more than consumerism at work.
Which of his beliefs?
Guys, we gotta listen. I'm not trying to tell you not to be yourself, right? I'm really not. But like, this is not. Look. Y'all know I. This is how I talk, right? I wouldn't change myself, okay? And I like extensions, but not when they look like a hat.
Change.
Not when they look like a hat. I'm sorry. We have to, it's like this whole thing. People, but you're trying to make me look like not, but you are actually trying to look more European, if you will. Not really though, because straight hair doesn't mean European. But that's the argument somebody would give me, right? I'm sorry, y'all are probably like, why is she going for her looks? Because it's the whole thing, the big hoop earrings, the lace front. With not even the natural hair. It literally looks like plastic. Then she got an attitude. She got her nails, and she's like calling him a transphobe. And you gonna listen to me. And you gonna listen. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. I'm sorry. You can get excited. I have been in debates. I've gotten in very heated debates, and I'm still practicing. But, it just... like it can't, there is a certain kind of way. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being too rude or judgmental, somebody would say. I know I have my flaws. I have a lot of stuff I need to work on, especially, like I said, I really appreciate everybody who's watching, and I need to elevate for the audience, right? Because I appreciate you guys, and I want to make sure I put on the right kind of product for you, right? And I want to be comfortable. I want it to feel like a conversation. But this is CNN. And this is just too much. It just is.
In the past 10 years. It's really hard to point out which of his beliefs.
But can I zoom out from him? Because I think there is this, and I see you nodding as well, this kind of bigger question. Like, you have a Jon Stewart, right? Mm-hmm. You have Pod Save America. You have all kinds of even the late night, television brigade.
They're all left on the late night shows. I think what he said to me is what rings true about this whole concept of finding the liberal Joe Rogan is, he said, inauthentic. And when you talked about what Kamala Harris did in this campaign, knocking on doors, doing it sort of the traditional way, right? Raising tons of money. But there's something about Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, or Joe Rogan or whomever, they are authentic.
Right. Totally.
And that comes through to people. And when you're trying to get your message out, whatever that message is, You have to be authentic.
You
And I
can
think
be
they missed
authentic
it.
though
This
when
year.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, so no, we're not gonna yes. Yeah, and that too, right? So look, listen, things are changing, right? Things are definitely changing where, and Patrick Bet David said this, it's like the influencer, but the thing is, I've been saying it too, but you know, I just, the influencers are gonna be the most powerful because you can influence a crowd. It's the truth. And I'm being transparent by telling you that, right? Because over here we talk about the inconvenient truth, and I'm grateful to anybody who watches. Therefore, my integrity, I answer to God, so I have to give you the truth as what I know, right? I would feel terrible if I did anything less. And I mean, if there's certain things I can't say, if we lose the channel, we figure out a different way. I am working on different avenues. Coming back to the point. Yeah. Influencers, this whole thing is about to change. And what you see happening with CNN, and let me just say this in the end, right? They're letting whatever happen because mainstream media is going to go away. It'll probably turn into something that's more like all day long, like a CNN Live, where they're covering local stories from across the nation, and then maybe if there's like a big story or something like that, and somebody comes in for like an election or something. But things are being shifted over to the alternative media. I already see it, and now I see other people talking about it. So right now they let whatever happen, and I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. This behavior is not anything. I just like you don't need to get that worked up. You really don't. Y'all have to start taking your emotions out of it. These are supposed to be these democratic strategists and like analysts who are extra emotional, right? So now you have a bias. You're not really looking at anything through a clear, with your cup empty. Everything's always like, well, as a black woman, y'all know I hate saying that. I only say it to make the point that as a black woman, I'm telling black women like this, be better. I'm sorry. Y'all just come off too miserable. Some of y'all do. You know who you are.